Good afternoon and welcome to DFS on my YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 2nd of July. It is Tuesday. We have an 11-game main slate in front of us. Looking at some weather, nothing too bad. Some delay risk in Minnesota and Kansas City. A lot of warm temperatures, some wind blowing out. Should be a good night of baseball. But we're here to look at pitching. Just a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. I am using DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. On FanDuel, I would cut my pool into about a half or even a third, depending, just because you don't have to be as creative. Pricing for hitters is not as tight as it is on DraftKings. All right, let's get started at the top here. Trick Skubal against my favorite team in the Twins. Twins are a slight home favorite, minus 125. Skubal has a K prop of 5.5 juice on the over. He shut down the Twins the first time he faced them this season. Hasn't been as strong on the road, but he's been still pretty spectacular. 30 plus in 2 of his last 4 starts. His 2 road starts in between those were not very good. But with that said, it's just hard to not want to use Skubal here in this spot. I realize the Twins have been scoring some runs, but Skubal just has tremendous upside at this point. Now we get Dylan Cease taking on I guess I would call them a struggling Texas squad. His K prop 6.5. Some of his overall numbers on the road haven't been as strong, but when you look at underlying numbers, he's actually been really good. He's maybe gotten a little bit unlucky. Coming off of a strong start, had a couple bad starts in a row. Ks are always going to be a thing for him. It's just a matter of if he can avoid walks and home runs, really. He's a very slight underdog. It's nearly a pick 'em. Game total 7.5, similar to the Twins Tigers game. I think he has plenty of upside in this spot, especially if Texas is without Seager again this evening. Luis Hill, I think he's a GPP guy for me. Looked bad in the last 2 starts, and actually in 3 of his last 4 hasn't been all that great. Strikeouts have come down. Walks are up a little bit. Could be hitting a bit of a wall. There's no denying that, but there are some outs in the Cincinnati lineup. If he does get hot, he can rack up strikeouts. He's been best when pitching at home, so I think he's worth some GPP looks. If you faded him, I wouldn't blame you. Trends just aren't in his favor. Plus, we'd obviously definitely rather play C. Skubal, probably rather play Reynaldo Lopez, probably play Grayson Rodriguez with his K upside in that matchup. So Luis Hill might be the guy at the top here that we go with the fade. Right now, I'm going to consider using him. But again, that could change as I get more in depth this afternoon. Ronaldo Lopez, San Francisco. He's just been great. He's been phenomenal at home. Just 5 runs allowed and 5 earned allowed in 7 starts at home. Not a massive K guy like some of the guys above him, but I still think Ronaldo Lopez is in play. I will have some exposure to some San Francisco bats, but he's a minus 205 favorite. Game total of just 8. Rocking a K prop of 5.5. Luis Hill's K prop is sitting at 6.5 with juice on the over. Grayson Rodriguez, definite upside. He struggled mightily on the road, but he did shut down the Seattle squad. Didn't pick up the W somehow after allowing just 1 hit in that performance. Hasn't been super sharp, but the upside is definitely there. And like I mentioned, obviously that K upside is super inviting for us. K prop is 7.5. Juice is on the under, but still 7.5. Feels like it's probably the highest K prop on the slate. He's actually a minus 115 favorite as well. Game total of just 7 in this one. Um, but, a road favorite having the largest K prop on the day. Gotta love the upside for Grayson Rodriguez. Evalde could certainly do damage against San Diego. They're a huge K team. Um, kind of torn. I think I'm leaning towards not playing Evalde this evening. Um, Probably have to dig into the matchup a little bit more. His K prop's just 4.5. Juice is on the over. He is a very slight favorite, but still. Um, I think I'd just rather play some of the other guys for that upside. Um, Kirby, obviously, has been phenomenal at home, but struggled against this Baltimore squad. I just don't think I'm using George Kirby against Baltimore, even though he's pitching at home. Super low total game. K prop is 6.5. Juice is on the under, but man, that's gonna be a tough one. Um, in general, I would say he's a better pitcher than Evalde at this point, but matchups do matter. Um, so I might have to come off of Kirby. Makes sense. Obviously, we know how strong Baltimore is offensively, so it just might be a spot where I'd, just rather not risk it, to be honest. Brady Singer, I believe this game has a pretty strong game total. Singer's K prop just 4.5. Juice is on the over. Game total of 9.5. He was solid against Tampa Bay earlier. Just the strikeouts weren't there. Um, he's been decent the last couple, but he just doesn't have the K upside right now. I don't think I'm going to go with Singer. Um, Probably going to end up on the outside looking in, but he's at least somebody I'm considering right now. Bobby Miller up against Arizona. He's a minus 198 favorite. K prop of 4.5. Game total sitting at 9 right now. Hasn't been great on the road. Just hasn't been good since his return in his 2 starts. Um, Extra day of rest as well. Actually, 2 extra days of rest, it looks like. Um, Probably going to play wait and see with him uh, at this point, but he's definitely somebody that has the upside. But like I said, I don't think we need to go there. Brios shut down Houston the first time he faced them, just no strikeouts, and he's pitching at home, where he's been absolutely phenomenal. Um, was great against the Yankees his last time out. So there's a lot of things working for him. The game's a pick 'em. Total's 8.5. K prop is just 4.5. Juice is on the over, but I don't think I'm gonna go with Brios, even though most of the Houston lineup has kind of cooled off a little bit. Man, that's gonna be a tough one. If I need to sneak one more guy into my pitcher pool to kind of make my numbers work, Brios might find himself there. Eric Getty coming off an elite start, but that was against Colorado. Hasn't been very good on the road. I mean, he just hasn't been great overall, but um, obviously could be viable if we see Vlad out again. It weakens that Toronto lineup enough, but uh, I would rather use Barrios in this matchup. Um, so most likely Arrigetti's not going to be somebody I'm considering. Soriano is somebody that I am considering. Um, just the K upside in this matchup. He's been really strong on the road. His walk numbers are up, which is something that I don't like to see. K prop of 5.5. Juice is on the under. Um, He's a minus 115 favorite in this one as well. So slight favorite. Obviously, the big issue is coming off of the IL. Um, Not sure what kind of a pitch count we might see. We're looking at what he's been on the IL for nearly 3 weeks. That obviously could be a worry, but I still think he's in play for us this evening. unless we find out he's going to be limited to like 60 pitches or something. That would change things. Woods Richardson, definitely in play for me. He's a minus 125 favorite against Skubal. Shut down Detroit the first time he faced them. His fantasy performances have been strongest at home, where he's at this evening. Not a huge K guy in general. K prop of 4.5 juices on the under, but definitely has the upside. Uh, put up 24 fantasy points the first time against Detroit. He's only gotten to that number twice, really. So that is a worry, just because his upside kind of is capped a little bit, but I still think he's in a prime position against a team that he's done damage against, and pitching at home where he's been most effective. I don't know anything about Michael Mercado, I will be honest. Um, he has been starting in the minors, but still, um, somebody I have to dig into. But the wind is blowing out in Wrigley, from my understanding, so probably not somebody I'm going to be too interested in. Mitch Spence, somebody that I am going to have some interest in, to be honest. Struggled against LA the first time he faced them. He's been stronger at home. He does showcase some upside, and he's capable of it. There's K ability, but there are also home runs allowed. Um, I'd obviously rather play Soriano, but I do think Spence is interesting enough. And to be honest, he's kind of the last guy I'm considering. Um, so there we have it. There's the first look at my pitching for this slate. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's RAZ, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.